Hi everyone, welcome to Math 250. I'll be your instructor. My name's Professor McLaughlin. So I'm on Canvas here for our course, and on the left side you'll see Home, Grades, Modules, Discussions, and Assignments. So let's click on Home. So it takes you here. So at the top I give a description of the course. Then I tell you to click on this link, start here. If you do click on this, it will take you to the video that you're watching right now. Then if you go down further, you'll see links to important class information. So you'll see the syllabus, you'll see how to access the course material, you'll see important info about lecture periods, which I'll talk about in a second, and class content. And so before the first day of class, you should have clicked on each of these links and looked at them. If you go below this, you'll see what to do each day, where stuff is laid out on pretty much a weekly basis. Okay, so let's go over the syllabus. So let's click on the syllabus link here. Okay, let me move this guy over here. Okay, so our class meets on Monday, Wednesday from 8 to 10. Okay, and here is my email address. Okay, for office hours, I'm going to be available on Zoom a half hour before class starts. And so on Monday, Wednesday from 7:30 to 8, I'll be available on Zoom. I'll be in my Zoom office to answer questions. You just click on this link here. It will take you to my Zoom office. You can also send me an email anytime, and I will respond within a few hours. Okay. So the prerequisite for this class is Math 160. Here's a textbook we'll be using. Okay. Next, course modality. So this is a high-flex class, which means that on any given day, each student can choose how they want to attend a scheduled class meeting, as either face-to-face with me or online. So in particular, if you want to attend the class online for the whole semester, that's fine with me. But again, you can choose on any given day whether to go online or face-to-face. So in order to participate in the class, but you're going to need access to a device with a camera that can connect to the internet. And our class is going to meet live on Zoom during the scheduled class meeting, so from 8 to 10 on Monday, Wednesdays. And moreover, the face-to-face students will be required to bring a pair of headphones and a device with a camera that can connect to the internet to each class. The class will also have lecture periods, which will be available on Canvas 24 hours before the start of our scheduled class meetings, and will end at the end of our scheduled class meeting. So during the lecture periods, students will have about 24 hours to work on questions that I post, and you can earn extra credit points by posting correct answers for the questions within the time frame I put on each question. So during the scheduled class meetings, I'll be posting the solutions and answering any questions you have. So our first lecture period then will be on Sunday. It'll be available on Sunday, January 9th at 8 a.m. and it will conclude on Wednesday, January 10th at 10:05 a.m. So you pretty much have the 24 hours to work on the questions. Okay, and let's keep going here. Okay, so as I mentioned already, I'll be available on Zoom 30 minutes before class starts. I'll also be available on Zoom 40 minutes before class ends. So if you want to ask me a question on Zoom, you can ask me questions on the last 40 minutes of class and just click on this Zoom link and it will work during those times. Okay. Course description, you can look at that. Student learning outcomes, you can look at that. So attendance. So I'll be taking attendance each day of class, and how I'll take attendance will be on Canvas, so you'll have to sign in. So if you click on this link here, it will bring you to a video tutorial explaining how you can sign in We'll talk more about it in a second. But if you do miss more than 2 classes, I may drop you from the course. But do not assume that I will drop you. So if you want to drop class, make sure you drop the class. Don't assume that I will drop you. Okay, homework. I'll assign homework, but it will not be collected. Okay, so quizzes. There's going to be a total of 9 quizzes throughout the semester. No makeup quizzes given, but each student can drop the lowest quiz score. So I'll take your best 8 quizzes. And you're going to have 2 hours and 5 minutes to complete each quiz. And there'll be a 1% penalty for every minute your quiz is late. And before the quiz, you're going to have to sign a quiz agreement stating that you will not cheat. So here's a video tutorial on how you can submit that quiz agreement. And up here, here's a video tutorial on how you can take a quiz. So you should look at those. Okay, next is tests or exams. There's going to be 2 exams during the semester. No makeup exams will be given. And you'll have 2 hours. Actually, that's incorrect. It should be 3 hours. You'll have 3 hours. Oh, that 2 should be gone. You'll have 3 hours to complete each test, and there will be a 1% penalty for every minute your test is late. And just like the quiz, you're going to have to sign an agreement stating you will not cheat. And here's a video tutorial on how you can take a test. All the quizzes and exams will be taken online. Okay. And there'll be also final exam. And you'll have 3.5 hours to complete the final exam. And if your score on your final exam is better than your lower test score, your final exam score can replace your lower test score if it's better. So for example, say you got on test 1 a 75, on test 2 an 80, and on the final exam you got 80, say 78%. In that scenario, your final exam score 78 would replace your test 1 score of 75. But of course it will only replace if it's better. Okay, so here's the breakdowns. The weights, so the exams will be 30% of the grade, the quizzes will be 40% of the grade, and the final will be 30% of the grade. And the grading is just standard, the grading scale. And tutoring services, so here's a link to the Learning Center. So if you need help, first come to my office hours, but if you need additional help, you can go to Learning Center and you can get help from the tutors. Study tips, you can look at those. Okay, so if you need an accommodation to participate in this class, email me as soon as possible and we can work something out. Okay, important dates, you can look at that. Student resources, you can look at that. So here's the class schedule, everything's laid out for the whole semester. Okay, so you can see on day 1 we'll be covering module 1. On day 2 we'll continue to cover module 1. Looks like there's no class on the 17th. And then day 3 we'll go over module 1 again. And then day 4 we'll have our quiz. So if you click on module 1, it takes you to module 1, and at the top I go over the objectives of the module. Then below that there's a practice quiz. So if you click on that, we'll take you to a practice quiz. And during the lecture periods, we'll be going over the practice quiz. So by the time you take the quiz, we'll have gone over the practice quiz completely. And your actual quiz will look similar to the practice quiz. Okay. And then there's module 1 homework. If you click on that, we'll give you the homework. And then there's practice submitting a quiz, so you can look at that. Okay, then if you go down further, it has day 1, day 2, day 3 laid out here. So on day 1 then you'll come here. The first thing you'll do is you'll sign in. So you click on this, attendance. But you can see now it's locked until January 9th at 8 a.m. So let me just go back. Okay, so let me leave the student view for a second here. Okay, so now it's going to work. So on January 9th then after 8 a.m. in the morning, if you click on this, it'll work and it will look like this. And what you do is you just sign your name in the text box below and you press submit. There's a video tutorial on how you do that here. I'll let you look at that. So once you sign in, then you'll go to the lecture questions. So you'll go to question 1 first, say. So click on question 1. So at the top I just talk about what we're covering in the first lecture. Then if you go down further, I tell you to start watching this video. Okay, so you start watching that video, and then there's a question right here for you to work on. So as you're watching the video, you're going to work on this question here. So here's the question. It's coming up now. All right, but there's. So while you're watching the video, you're going to work on this question right here. So you're going to write your answer on a piece of paper and then take a picture of your answer. So, okay, so suppose then if you post the correct answer, you get looks like 1 point extra credit. Okay, so how you share your work with me is you're going to go to the reply at the top. You got a reply button up here. There's also a reply button at the bottom, but I want you to use the reply button at the top because it's easier for me to keep track of things. So click on the reply button at the top. Then you're going to take a picture of your work, and then you're going to say insert, and then you're going to say image, and then upload. So I'm not going to go through it here. I have a video on how you do that. So you can also post questions here if you want, and I'll answer your questions. Okay, so let me go back now to the syllabus. Okay, so back on the syllabus here. I'm back to student view also. So again, pretty much every week, if you look down here, there's a quiz or a test, just about. So you can see here all the way through, you've got 9 quizzes and then your 2 exams and a final. Okay, so let me just go back now to the home page and show you a different way you can access the class content. So one way is you can just access it here from the bottom of the syllabus. But if you go back to home now and scroll down, click on class content. This also takes you to the same schedule that's on the bottom of the syllabus. It's just easier to access it here. Okay, so, and then one other way you can access it. You scroll to the bottom, it has everything laid out pretty much by week. So if you click on days 1 through 4, it has everything laid out. And then on the 4th day, you take the quiz. So it's pretty much laid out by quizzes and exams. So this is the first quiz stuff, day 1 through 4. And then we go back. Days 5 through 6 will be the quiz 2 stuff. If you look here, and so forth. So it's laid out by quizzes and exams. So the next one, say 9 and 10, would probably be a test maybe here. See, yeah, so you have your review for test and test. So that's another way you can access the material. Okay, so that's the main things about the class. So let's leave it there. I'll see you guys in class then.